Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of The Hard Truth. Thank you so much for watching. I want to say a quick hello to my friends in Canada, the UK, Australia, and South Africa. All right. Oh, and Trinidad. We have to add that today. All right. This is a part of the series where we're investigating the officer training, which was requested in the last motion to compel discovery. All right. And so if you missed part one, please take a minute and watch that one first. And then kick your feet up, grab a coffee or a tea as we begin our story. This is the City of Moscow Police Department annual report, but this one is for 2020. All right. I want to show you some things. Officer Nunez and Officer Smith. Okay. Officer Nunez came to the University of Idaho 2015. He's really still a baby. He and Brian are probably the exact same age. He might even be younger than Brian Kohberger. And he attended UI, all right? He became an officer when he did the firefighter program. When he became an officer, he was nationally registered as an EMT, okay, emergency medical technician, which means, this is who you want to come to an emergency call like King Road because, he's an EMT. As young as he is, that's good. But we got a problem here. Look up here at this paragraph that says during 2020. All right. The last sentence. Two new police officers were hired in 2020 but are not able to attend the post academy until 2021. Okay, they might blame it on COVID or whatever, but that's a problem. We have a problem already. Okay, they started working without receiving the peace officers training. And so, people might say that's not a big deal. Maybe it's not in a small town that doesn't really get murders. But what happens when you do get a murder? You're supposed to have those qualifications. So I really feel bad for Officer Nunez. As young as he is, he had to see something like that. Because, the seasoned officers have seen crime scenes. Even if Moscow hasn't had a lot of murders, I'm sure they have attended, homicides in other districts and other counties. Okay, so just because it didn't happen on their doorstep doesn't mean they haven't been exposed to it. Now, these Officer Nunez went into the house and saw the crime scene, saw the deceased, the victims. Okay, he saw that, and from according to the PCA, his body cam is recording him opening the door and seeing Murphy in that room. This is the 2021 annual report for the city of Moscow, and let's see, page 2. But look here. Here are a few of this year's citizens' comments on what our officers did best. I canceled whatever I thought was happening, but Officer Payne was like Flash Gordon. He was so fast in getting to my house. God bless you all. You do a great job with all you do. First thing I thought about is why didn't Flash Gordon get to the crime scene before 4 o'clock or 4:30? He was not like Flash Gordon on that day. As a matter of fact, he was very much the opposite. So they need to take that out of here. They need to rewrite this report and delete that. Let's see. On a late summer evening, Whitcomb aired a mutual aid request by Pullman Police Department for assistance in Pullman for a possible active shooter. Sounds just like Kopaka. But they had an active shooter in Pullman in 2021. I mean, it's like the same problems over and over. All right, here we see that Officer Nunez and Officer Smith did receive their peace officer training here in May 2021. Okay, so at some point they did go to the academy, according to this, and receive their training. That's a good thing, because if they had not, boy, boy, boy. All right, and last but not least, I wanted to show you here. In late 2020, the ATF initiated an investigation with the Spokane area drug dealer, utilizing information from confidential informants developed in Moscow, Idaho by Corporal Dean. I'm going to read that again. In late 2020, the ATF initiated an investigation into a Spokane area drug dealer, utilizing information from confidential informants developed in Moscow, Idaho by Corporal Dean. All right, the snitches are in Moscow. I mean, for what's going on in WSU, the informants are in Moscow. And for what's going on in Moscow, the informants are at WSU. That's the way they're working it. All right? So everything that's coming out of WSU about this case is just informants talking. I told you that before. All right? Well, let's move on. This is the 2022 annual report for the Moscow Police Department. And let's see what we have here. All right. On page 2, we have, I appreciate Sergeant Blaker's prompt and diplomatic action. Again, saying how fast and prompt they are, but we know that the victims were there from 12 to 4 before the detectives arrived. Okay, another big piece of news here is that they got a drug canine dog in August of 2022. His name is Ragnar. Very hairy, 75-pound yellow Labrador Ragnar joined the Moscow Police Department in May and became our first ever drug canine. Okay, so he joined in May. Since his deployment in August, Ragnar consistently made an impact on our collection of illegal and often deadly drugs. All right, so they got the drug dog deployed in August of 2022. That is page 3. And then let's look at this one. All right, I'm on page 9. And it says Corporal Dewson, Officer Ted Stahl, and Officer Corbin Smith were all promoted on December 19th after the retirement of Sergeant John Lawrence and the extension of Corporal Strubel's military deployment. Okay, we know December 19th is the day that they supposedly got the genealogy DNA tests back, and December 19th is when they supposedly alerted Moscow that they had the results and that it was Brian Kohberger. Remember that? Now look here. It says there were several promotions in the operations division in 2022. All were the result of scheduled retirements. And then they have these promotions and retirements right here. But down here, we have one retirement, and Corporal Strubel's military deployment was extended, but they promoted 3 officers on the same day as the DNA announcement. So I'm thinking maybe they celebrated, I don't know. What do you think about that one?